you have to embrace is that hierarchy is a divine principle. There is an order to the universe. Some men are meant to lead and some are meant to follow. And that's totally fine. Some are meant to lead and some are meant to follow.
Okay, so this is literally what peasants in medieval times said bar for bar. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is literally, oh, my lord, the divine ordained, my lord, be the ruler of this land. Like, yeah, man. All right,
Indians, right?
All right. We're just peasant maxing now.
The family.
Are we seriously going to start medieval peasant maxing? Why? Why would you do that? Whatever. Welcome back to the J Star broadcast. I'm J Star. This is my broadcast. Today we are watching JimmyTalks. JimmyTalks. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to JimmyTalks. So I'm actually recording this video for a second time. I'm not even going to try to go through this old video and try to re-record it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's because YouTube removed the first version I have of this video. The original is in my Rumble. Link is, in my Rumble? That sounds weird. Anyways, link is in the description below. But yeah, this video is going to be slightly different. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube. They really got up my ass. Their AI algorithm is just garbage. It took my last video down. I must have said something that was true. Truth nuke, that's what this video is. So let's get into the first one. Like I said, I have to kind of censor myself. So a certain country in the Middle East that's the size of New Jersey, and it is mainly a desert country, we're going to be calling them the Brazilians. So now, let's talk about real quick the absolute hypocrisy and the total control mechanism that runs America today. This is the Brazilians, not the South American ones. Let me just clarify that again. We're taking a page out of Sam Hyde's book. Anyways, if you point out the glaringly obvious disproportionate influence of the Brazilians, like I did in my last video that YouTube took down.
For those of you that don't know, Sam Hyde is a militant white supremacist. He's one of the OG like 4chan era Nazis, and he's been kind of popping off recently.
For pointing out, if you point out their
been showing up
very
on
specific,
my
highly organized demographic that has a large disproportionate influence in our media, in our financial institutions, and especially in the political lobbying like AIPAC that buys and sells out politicians, you are immediately labeled with the worst slurs imaginable, and YouTube takes your videos down as well. You are called a hater. It is hate speech. You're a bigot. You are an anti-Brazilianite. But why exactly is that? Why is it that you can criticize maybe white people, or you can criticize Christians very easily, or you can even mock just the historic American nation all day long? But the moment you point out who actually holds the levers of power in America, you lose your bank account, you lose your social media accounts, you lose your job. It is nothing more than basic pattern recognition when you notice these things. We are watching our country be systematically hollowed out by Brazilians who hold absolutely zero loyalty to the American people. They view us as an economic zone to be strip-mined and our military to be used as a pit bull to go sick their enemies. Now look at the foreign policy. Look at the foreign policy for the last, 40 years, 50, maybe even 60 years.
I mean, that's just how America views the rest of the world. Like, yeah, you're not really wrong, but also actually you kind of are, because Israel just uses us for our military, for the most part, our military technology. And of course, they try to entangle us in their foreign affairs.
Our young men, our young Americans, from probably some flyover states, or probably from the South, most likely, the sons of the working class, their parents were just normal people. They had been sent overseas to die in a Brazilian war. It is absolutely pointless. It does absolutely nothing for the safety or prosperity of the average American. These wars only serve Brazil. We have political action committees that openly boast about primarying true America First candidates if they dare to question the flow of billions of our tax dollars to Brazil, while our own borders are wide open, but theirs are not. Their borders are very secure. They want to flood our towns with third world migrants while building walls in their own Brazilian ethno-state. But if you acknowledge this reality, it's called hate, but it is not hate. It is pattern recognition. Also, to recognize this, that is the absolute bare minimum prerequisite for taking our country back from a hostile ruling class that despises America, the American people. You cannot fix a problem if you are legally and socially forbidden from naming the people who are causing it. It is time to stop playing these linguistic games, and I tried doing that and YouTube removed the video. So here we are playing linguistic games, but we really have to stop doing that. And I get what I'm doing right now. It's like, well, you're using it right now, this linguistic game. Hear me out, man. I want to get the message out there. But anyways, you have to unapologetically put American interests first, okay? Now, the second one, the reality of human biodiversity. This is certain groups of people. A bunch of people go into a race. They're running really fast. It's a race. What is the reality of that? I don't know. Okay, do you get what I'm saying now? Do you get what I'm saying? This is the second truth nuke. Anyways, the entire post-war, World War II, globalist system is built upon one massive, fragile, and totally destructive lie. This goes into egalitarianism, but it goes into this lie, the egalitarian fiction, that all human groups are exactly identical in maybe their cognitive abilities or their behavioral patterns.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, we're getting into some real racist shit. I just want to say that I don't think he said anything deserving of a strike in that last chapter. The Brazil chapter, okay, he was talking about Israel. I'm assuming that's what he got, like, taken down for, or whatever. But, like, what, you know, these guys, I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea, okay? JimmyTalks is a racist, he is an anti-Semite, of course, like, please don't think that he's not, and don't think that I don't think he is, okay, he is, obviously. If you watch his other videos, you'll know that. But, like, what did he say there that, like, if you replace Brazil with Israel, that is, like, anti-Semitic? You know, I don't really see it that way. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Let's keep going.
As well as civilizational outcomes. They will tell you from the time you're in kindergarten, if you went to a public school, that we are all exactly the same. Everybody is a blank slate, and that any difference in outcome in somebody's life is the result of some invisible system of supremacy of a certain people or historical oppression.
Yeah, I mean, not really invisible. Actually, it's very visible. The machinations, the process that is the system, whichever one we're talking about, it is very, observable.
This is a complete and total fraud, and everybody knows it. Genetics are real, and there's nothing wrong with saying that. God created different people, and he created natural diversity. But that diversity means that there is differences between people. Again, it doesn't mean that they're worse or better people. It doesn't mean that they're bad people, right? It doesn't mean that they're inherently better either. You know, they're just different. Recognizing this reality is essential for understanding the rise and fall of civilizations. So, why is it that the societies, maybe built by Europeans specifically, look a little bit differently than those built by other groups of people? It is not just because of the magic dirt theory, that you are a citizen because you got a piece of paper. Again, that doesn't exist. It is because of the people who built it. Now, when you import millions of people from the third world, like what is happening in all these Western countries that we have nowadays, you do not get a magical melting pot where everybody gets along.
Nope. No, man. It's because of history. It's because of technological advancements happening when and where they did. And it's because of resources being where they are. That's it. Okay, this whole idea that, like, white Europeans are naturally smarter or something, and that's why we've made all the inventions, is fucking... It's a dog shit, it's a dumb fuck idea. It's just stupid. Okay, the greatest technological advancements throughout history, throughout human history, over the last, like, 1,000, 1,500 years, have come from all over the world. Especially the Middle East.
You get the third world if you import a bunch of third worlders. It's just 1 + 1 = 2. You get the collapse of high-trust societies. Everything starts to go down in quality. But the globalist elites...
Yeah, no. That's just not true. Immigrants come here, and they pay more into the system than they take out. Okay, this whole idea of, like, immigrants coming in, and then the country gets worse, it's just wrong. It's just a fucking lie. No, life is getting worse, and it has nothing to do with immigrants. It has everything to do with, well, capitalism.
Have forced this, straight up, dare I say,
the invisible
anti-Western,
system.
egalitarian lie. But really, what has it gotten us? It has gotten us the total destruction of meritocracy. Basically, how well can you do things? You are the one that can do this job because you
Meritocracy was always a myth. It didn't die. It was never real. The American dream has always been about who your parents are and how much money they have.
Well, it's not just based off of what you look like. And, well, what do I mean by that specifically? Well, they are lowering the standards in...
Let's hear that again.
It has gotten us the total destruction of meritocracy. Basically, how well can you do things? You are the one that can do this job because you do it well. It's not just based off of what you look like. And, well,
it's not just based off of what you look like. Really. Bro, have you read American history? Do you know any of American history? What in the goddamn are you talking about? Black people were property for 400 years. Because of the way they look.
What do I mean by that specifically? Well, they are lowering the standards in medical schools. They are lowering the standards in aviation schools, in the military, and our infrastructure just to meet a artificial diversity quota. They are actively penalizing the descendants of the people who built this civilization here in America to elevate those who can't meet the basic standards. It is a suicide pact. If we don't return to reality, and if we do not accept that demographics in a country are destiny, and that the people, the population, determines the future of a country, we are going to watch the greatest civilization in human history turn into a sprawling, violent, unrecognizable slum. Again, I kind of have to watch the words that I'm saying here because YouTube already nuked the video I made. It was this video. I just said different words to get my point across.
It's already extremely violent, and it always has been. America isn't more violent than it was. American history is full of violence. Violence, political violence. Okay, the last, after the last turn of the century, turn of the millennia, there's relatively been very little political violence in this country. But, like, let's not pretend like there wasn't tons of political assassinations here before then. You know, it's just, I think that people were more docile back then. People are starting to realize, like, how fucked over they are by the rich people.
But you get what I'm saying. You can't build a first world country with a third world inhabitant group of people. I'm sorry to say that. I wish it wasn't that way. I mean, like, that's just, it is what it is, though. The fact is just a neutral, it's a fact. It's not good morally or bad morally. It's just neutral. It is just a biological, historical, and mathematical reality. And we need to stop apologizing for saying it out loud. Okay? Now, next, number 3. I did say in the last video, you can't be fat. I don't think YouTube had a problem with that, but we'll put it this way instead. I want to kind of just go with the flow of trying to skirt the guidelines. Number 3, fitness is a moral priority. It is a moral priority. Let's look at the absolute spiritual and physical state of the average American, because being fat is not just a lifestyle choice or something to be celebrated on the cover of a magazine. It is actually a sign of internal failure. It's a lack of discipline that shows that you don't have a lot of self-respect.
Yo, no, show the go cam, bro. That guy... Holy shit, let's get a replay on
being
that.
Being fat is not just a
I'm gonna put this in the video.
Or something to be celebrated on the cover.
Look at him, he got no-scoped! He got fucking no-scope. Look at this shit. I'm replaying this shit again. Why did you keep this in, man?
Just a lifestyle choice.
Look, you killed your escort.
To be celebrated on the cover of a magazine.
Oh, did you see the spin? Did you see the spin that he did?
It's actually a sign of internal failure. It's a lack of discipline. It shows that you don't have a lot of self-respect, and it's a total surrender to the demonic corporate food complex that literally wants you sick and dependent on their food. They make it addictive. Just look at what they're feeding people. And you know what? With fat people,
dependent on their food. Well, yeah, man. You need food. Everybody is dependent on food. Wow.
I don't even hate them. I actually have sympathy for a lot of obese people. Obesity is the silent killer. It is what is ruining our country.
Yeah, you should.
This isn't like a fat people, edgy, hate kind of thing. They make food addictive on purpose. I actually have some empathy for them because people just don't know any better. You know, there's a lot of dumb people out there. They don't know any better. The food's made to be addictive. They end up spending all their money on it. And yeah, man, it's kind of sinister, actually.
Virtue signaling. Virtue signaling. Okay, but in all seriousness, yeah, obviously. Obviously. But why do you have empathy for fat people who are victims of the system? The invisible you literally called it the silent killer, right? It's an invisible system, right? I mean, it's not any more invisible than the systems of racial prejudice in this country. But you conveniently ignore those. You call them invisible, but fat people you have empathy for. Why is that, Jimmy? But seriously though, he is correct about this. Fat people, they be eating because of the way the food is, and it's terrible, and it is for profiteering, of course, as always.
But anyways, let's look at the food. What they're feeding people. They are pumping the food supply full of seed oils,
sugar,
high fructose corn syrup, soy, microplastics, all of that bad stuff.
Okay, bro, no, high fructose corn syrup isn't bad. It isn't. Like, I don't know why you dumbasses keep saying this. Like, high fructose corn syrup is unironically a really good alternative to sugar. Okay, let's go through. Let's look at the words. Okay, that make up the phrase high fructose corn syrup. Okay, high fructose meaning high sugar content. Okay, corn syrup meaning it's high sugar corn syrup, meaning it's corn syrup with higher than normal sugar. Okay, like most corn syrup does it. So like it's high fructose corn syrup. It's better than sugar. It has less like calories, right? It has less sugar in it per volume. And people like it. You know, it's a great substitute for sugar. It's good for you. Okay, high fructose corn syrup is good. Now, soda is bad for you. but it's not because of the high fructose corn syrup. It's bad for your teeth because of something called carbonic acid. Okay, for those of you that don't know, sparkling water, right, which is just water with that's been infused with carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide and water molecules like bang together, they create something called carbonic acid, and it's acidic, of course, and it's not like dangerous to drink it, right? It's not like bad for your organs and stuff, but it is, you know, it erodes your enamel, so you don't want to get it on your teeth. But and then of course there's like a plethora of other chemicals that go into the flavorings of soda that might not be that good for you, but that's like more dependent on which soda we're talking about. So anyway, it's something to like think about and be careful and be wary of, but anyway, I'll stop.
They're kind of just chemically castrating the population when you think about it, and making everyone obese, depressed, and compliant. Now, you may be asking yourself...
they're castrating you with high fructose corn syrup,
what do you mean a food company wants you compliant, Jimmy? That doesn't really make any sense. Well, the red pill here is that Big Pharma and the Industrial Food Cartel Network, I want to call them a cartel, they work hand in hand to poison you so they can sell you the treatment. But the fault ultimately lies with the person who chooses the path of being gluttonous. You know, by letting your body rot in this sort of state of neglect, just not really caring, being depressed or whatever, you're failing your ancestors. These guys who had to put on a leopard skin like they were SpongeBob in the Caveman episode and then go throw a spear at an elephant or some shit. You know, you're letting them down. Your forefathers.
Just to clarify, anybody that doesn't understand what I mean by that, a cartel is just an organization where people get together and they fix prices for consumer goods, products. Okay, they artificially raise prices to get, so like competitors will get together and they'll say, okay, you know, we're gonna, instead of competing, we're gonna, you know, work together. We're both gonna raise our prices so we can both make more money. That's what a cartel is. And so that's why I say basically everything is a cartel.
It doesn't really matter where you're from. They conquered shit and they built shit. But anyways, if you're an American, these were rugged, hard Christian men who survived winters and fought wars, and they built actual communities. And now their descendants are sitting on a couch, staring at the men in tights playing with the balls on the screen, stuffing garbage into their faces, and they're completely unable to run a mile or defend their family if things go south. You know, it's kind of a disgrace. I really don't want to be a dickhead here, but it's really just kind of a disgrace. The body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, so you need to treat it like that. If you're treating it like it's a garbage disposal instead, I think that's just sinful. You know, fitness is a moral priority. Because a weak and soft, lazy population, they can't resist or fight back. Not literally fight back again because of YouTube. That's not what I'm saying. You know, we're taking political solutions. Okay, YouTube, relax. They can't fight back against a tyrannical government. You cannot be a dissident or a warrior for your nation if you're physically broken and you're addicted to Doritos. You know, getting in shape and eating clean, natural food and building strength is the first step in declaring independence from anything. It doesn't matter. I'm depressed, or I don't know what I'm interested in. I hate going outside. I don't pray enough. It starts with the food you eat. I promise you. If you want to get better at anything, eat high-quality food, and then get back to me. Watch my other videos once you're eating high-quality food for like a week or two. I promise you. It will change your life. You will have a better, clean, better mind, less brain fog. You will start getting independence from this parasitic system once you start that way. And think about it this way. You're just kind of rejecting the world's degeneracy as well when you start eating clean and even getting some fitness in there. Even if you're just going for a walk. It doesn't matter. A walk, that's fine. That's good too. You know, reclaim your health, because the times that are coming, you know, they require strong, capable men and women, not compliant consumers. All right, so I really hope I hit you there. Now, number 4, we're moving on now. Number 4, biological reality. Now, what do I mean by biological reality? I know that sounds a little bit weird. I wrote this out on a piece of paper. Sometimes I need to work on the way I speak. Number 4, biological reality. It just sounds weird. But yeah, anyways, this entire agenda being pushed on us right now, specifically what I'm talking about regarding gender, is not just wrong. I actually think it's entirely demonic. Men and women are not the same. They complement each other. They're different for a reason. They both have distinct complementary natures that are ordained by nature and by God for building families. And
No. Gender is just a series of roles that are pushed on you. Okay, it's like you're a man, so you take out the trash. You know, you're the breadwinner. Blah blah blah. Okay, you're a woman, so you do homestead. Yada yada. That's all it is, man. That's it. Gender is expression. It's the clothes you wear. It's the roles you take. There is nothing natural about it. You don't see other mammals applying gender to each other. Because animals do not have a sense of identity. Alright, that's basically it. Anyway.
Countries. For example, the book of Genesis makes it very clear, male and female. He created them. There is no spectrum. There is no fluid. There is an objective biological reality. And then what we have now, there is a state-sponsored madness.
So you're conflating two things. You're conflating biology with gender, which is something that these guys do all the time. And I talk about over and over again. But they keep saying it.
Consequently, this whole concept of transgender is a mass delusion. Men in dresses are not women, and they never will be, no matter how much makeup they put on, no matter what pronouns they force you to use, and no matter what the corrupt medical establishment says. The fact that we have hospitals that are, in essence, butcher clinics that are taking the bodies of confused children and, changing parts around to simulate the opposite sex is kind of... Again, I can't really say things because of YouTube. Anyways, I think it's demonic activity. It has to be rejected. It should not be celebrated. And honestly, I'm not even going to say that because of YouTube. I will. It must be prosecuted, okay? I'm kind of skipping over my words here. I don't really like to edit out too much. I kind of want you to think I'm talking to you. But anyways, this entire movement, this transgender movement, is a rebellion against the natural order. It is pushed by the elites because a society that can't even define what a man or a woman is a weak society. It also destroys its own reproductive capacity. It means they can't have kids, which is also quite funny because to even keep this machine going...
You're talking about 1% of the population. You're not destroying the reproductive capacity of the nation, you fucking dumbass, because we're talking about 1% of the population. 1%. They're destroying the reproductive capabilities of the nation.
You need people to populate it. You need people to keep on reproducing for the machine to even continue to operate.
Yeah, you're still gonna have that, okay? Like, there are declining... This is a real issue, right? There are declining birth rates in the country. It's just that it's not because of fucking trans people, dumbass.
These are not. Maybe it's part of a big thing. They don't want people to reproduce because there's just too many dang people. We need another pandemic to get rid of... Anyways, you get what I'm saying? It just gets rid of the nuclear family. It's very important, the traditional family. And it also just creates a lot of individuals, hyper-individualized people. I don't think that's really good. It just makes people confused. It makes men weak. They have the lowest test levels they've ever had in history. It makes them effeminate.
I thought we like individualism. I don't even think it does that, but like I thought you were Mr. Capitalism, bro. I thought you were all about the individual. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Starting to sound like a communist to me.
Makes men stripped of their protective instincts as well. And then they want women, on the other hand, to be masculine and bitter and alienated from motherhood. Speaking of masculine, have you ever noticed that women's voices are getting deeper? Have you noticed that? It's just, if you haven't, just...
No. You're getting older, man. Yeah, women's voices get deeper as they get older. And they smoke. And they vape. Actually, I don't know about the vaping thing, but I'm pretty sure, smoking will lower your tone. But anyway, you're an adult now, man. What are you, like? You're probably like 20, right? Nah, Jimmy's definitely not Gen Z. Okay, he's probably older than that. He's probably like 26 or something. Okay, yeah, man. Look, the women around us, they're just getting older. Wow, we're not kids anymore.
Try to take a note of it, Anyways, this is how you destroy...
It's funny that he said that in the chapter of this video called Biological Reality, and he's like, oh, why are women around me their voices are getting deeper as they get older? Yeah, man, it must be because of all the testosterone they're slipping into the water. Am I right?
Civilization from the inside out, though. I want to draw a hard line in the sand with this kind of stuff. I'm not going to participate in the pronoun games. I don't think you should either. And I don't think we should continue to pretend that this disorder of the brain is a civil right. I think that we have to reassert the traditional Christian understanding of patriarchy. It is a good thing. Male leadership is a good thing. And of the sacred role of the mother. That is also a good thing. Because without the foundation of the natural family, there is no future for our country whatsoever. That is the truth for you. Now, moving on to point number 5, egalitarianism. This needs to be addressed. This is one of the great false gods, which there are plenty of in modern times, modern era. It's also one of the most destructive ideologies ever unleashed upon the West, is egalitarianism, the myth of equality. Hierarchies are natural, actually. They are also healthy, and also, they're just entirely inevitable. They're going to happen. It doesn't matter. We have hierarchies right now. It always happens. That's just how the world works. Humanity is not meant to be a horizontal plane of interchangeable units, which is kind of like communism when you think about it, which is exactly what the globalist managerial class...
Wow, communism is egalitarianism. Well, you're not far off there.
Wants us to be. They want a big plantation of identical consumers. who have no roots and no distinctions, right? But look at history. Every single attempt to force total equality, for example, the French Revolution or the Bolsheviks, to the modern DEI mandates that we have now, it hasn't been fruitful. It has resulted in nothing but the rule of the lowest common denominator. It just results in the best and brightest being pushed to the side. When you make equality your highest virtue, it is the false god again, you must actively destroy excellence to achieve it. You have to tear down the beautiful architecture.
Yeah, because communist blocks are so much worse than what we have here in the modern day America. Yeah. Yeah, man. You know they still use those commie blocks? You know why? You know why? Because number one, they're well built, and number two, fucking Russia is capitalist now, and they have the same housing problems that we have. They have similar housing problems that we have. They have a bunch of fucking homeless people, and they have corporations that own a lot of the housing. And, and a lot of it sits empty. Wow. Wow, why is that, I wonder?
You have to degrade the classical arts. You have to rewrite the history of great men. And you have to suppress the natural leaders to make the weak and the resentful feel better about themselves. It is a philosophy that's driven by pure envy. That's
You're
what it is.
resentful.
The truth that you have to embrace is that hierarchy is a divine principle. There is an order to the universe. Some men are meant to lead, and some are meant to follow. And that's totally fine. Some are meant to lead, and some are meant to follow.
Okay, so this is literally what peasants in medieval times said bar for bar. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is literally, oh, my lord, the divine ordained, my lord, be the ruler of this land. Like, yeah, man. All right,
Indians, right?
All right. We're just peasant maxing now.
The family.
Are we seriously going to start medieval peasant maxing? Why? Why would you do that? Whatever.
Church and in any healthy country. But when we kind of reject this hierarchy, and we have allowed a parasitic class of sociopaths and midwits to seize power instead, and they have brought about the inevitable results of this. It is the decay of the social order, right? We need to stop pretending that every culture is equal and that every belief system is equal and that every individual is equally capable as well. That's simply not true because they're not.
Yeah, nobody said, you just said a slew of things that nobody is doing. Every ideology is equal? Who the fuck thinks that? Who? No one. Because everybody has an ideology that they think is the correct one. Okay, but they can't all be correct because they're all in one way or another in opposition to each other. You know, in some cases, they're diametrical opposites. If you look at fascism versus communism, they're opposites. Total opposites.
Doesn't mean that some people are bad and, you know, if they're not as capable that they're bad. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's just that hierarchy is inevitable, it's true, it's real, and this myth that we have of egalitarianism is just that. It is a myth. Now, moving on to my sixth and final point, what does talk about democracy real quick. People have to wake up to the reality of the political theater, which is red team versus blue team here in America. I don't know about other countries. This is an American channel after all. You can tell by my voice anyways. I'm not British or something like that. Anyways, shout out to some of the Brits, the patriotic British people. I love those guys, man. Love them.
Yeah, I don't know. See, you say that shit a lot. You say like, the Brits. Oh, I love the Brits. Shout out to British people. Why? Why shout out to British people? Don't you know a lot of them are woke? Don't you know that? Okay, me personally, I don't like British people. I don't like them. I'm not a fan of the British. Okay, if you're British, my bad. Okay, but you probably don't like your country either. Okay, because you're British. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry for you. Okay, that sucks. But like, I don't know. You say you're not British, and I'm very suspicious of that. Maybe you are a redcoat. I mean, you literally just got done talking about how like the king was divinely ordained by our Lord and Savior. That's literally what you just got done saying. So I don't know. Maybe JimmyTalks is a British spy. It could
Euro
be.
bros, bro.
Maybe he's a time traveler. Maybe he's like maybe he is a British peasant and he like time traveled to the future somehow. Maybe it was a wizard. Cast a spell on
to like hate Europeans and stuff. It's like, no. What happens there tends to happen over here. But anyways, let me get back to democracy. The modern democratic process, as we know of, which is go and vote, and if you vote harder, it will change everything, is a complete scam. It is basically, think about it this way. It is a WWE wrestling match. It is fake. It is already predetermined beforehand. It is designed to provide the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
While the actual trajectory, what's going to happen.
I mean, I wouldn't say that the actual election is necessarily predetermined. I think it's two classes of people fighting against each other. I can't remember who it was that said it. I'm pretty sure the guy is a fascist, but there's this quote I read that some guy that said the last election was corporatist versus oligarchs. And I see what that game recognizes game. Okay, I think that shit is real. Okay, I think that's some real shit right there. Okay, the last election was, yeah, it was corporations versus oligarchs. Wow, interesting. And so it's an illusion of choice, not in that the actual outcome is predetermined, but that it doesn't matter which one you pick. Okay, you're voting for Hitler versus Mecha Hitler. Those are your options. You got Hitler, and you got Ultra Mecha Death Hitler. Those are your two options.
Remains absolutely identical, no matter if the elephant or the donkey is sitting in the Oval Office. It doesn't matter. You are going to keep paying money to Brazil. Again, whether it is Republican or a Democrat, the uniparty agenda moves forward with their agenda. Mass third world migration is something that both of them don't really care to stop. Endless foreign wars for Brazilian globalist interests.
Endless Holocaust, yeah.
Both of them can also agree on the
what we need is a billionaire Holocaust. That's what we need. Billionaire Holocaust.
Money nonstop. And both of them can also agree that cultural dissolution doesn't really matter to them. Making money does first. So the average person, they'll go to the ballot box. They're thinking they're going to vote their way out of this. But the system itself right now is occupied territory. It is controlled by a hostile elite class and a very big, deep, administrative deep state. A deep one at that. I know. Don't really like to say the word multiple times. And, as well, a corporate oligarchy.
Yeah,
all these corporations, they work in tandem with the government. And these people, the cherry on top, as if it wasn't doom-pilling enough.
I can't
they
believe
hate your guts, and they want your children brainwashed. So, change at the moment is not going to come from the ballot box.
They're going to all have blue hair.
The media is controlled, the voting machines are controlled, the courts are controlled, and the intelligence agencies just do whatever they want. The system can't be reformed from within at the moment because the system is functioning exactly as it was designed to. Well, what was it designed to do? Well, it is designed to dispossess you of your birthright. That is what it is turned into. We have to understand that true change will only come through the inevitable mathematical collapse of the current regime as it stands right now. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's kind of what it's looking like. You know, it is unsustainable. Your job as a Christian, and if you're not one, you should be, it's not to beg for a seat at the demonic table. You don't want to sit with those people. You don't want to sit with the mean girls. You know, our job is to start building a traditional structure now, so that when this corrupt anti-Christian empire finally falls in on itself, we have something solid to take its place. Start making friends with farmers. Start getting close with your church people, you know. I am an advocate of parallel economies and societies, but that takes a very long time. But that is something that I'm supportive of personally. Some people may see an issue with that, but I think it is the best long-term solution personally. But anyways, we need to completely detach ourselves from this beast system and turn our focus inwards more to local communities, local elections. Those are the kind of things that are going to affect you way more than a federal election, which is rigged anyways. So really, that's all I have to say about that. That is the end of the video now, guys. If you like the video, make sure to subscribe to my Rumble and my Twitter. Links are in the description below. The reason for that is, again, YouTube will remove my stuff. They already did it on this one. I had to make this one sound a lot more nicer. And honestly, I kind of like this version more anyways. It sounds more articulate. But anyways, that's all for me today. God bless you and your...
Yeah, whatever. You suck. All right, anyway, moving on.